A speaker who's a gem, okay? So I'm already creating the base so that you guys ask him a lot of questions. There's a guy who's known for questioning a lot of people, questioning a lot of processes, questioning a lot of things that people think are, cemented in their thought process, okay? It is my absolute privilege and pleasure to introduce you to Shrinivas Kulkarni. Shrinivas has 26 plus of years of experience and has done a lot of work. I think you should Google him to find out his body of work. This stage is, and me as Ramit, I am, not the right person to talk about all the things that he has done. But I think when you will listen to him, you will understand what I'm trying to say. Over to you, Srini, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm going to talk about practicing testing, few drills, okay? Practicing, right? How about starting with some squats, right? You may feel we are talking about testing mental skills. Why you are talking about squats? We will somewhere by the end of the talk, we will connect the dots. How physical agility, strength, is going to bring you the mental sharpness that you aspire for. But anyway, we should do a small practice drill here, okay? Just wherever you're sitting, straighten your spine. Come a little bit, straighten your spine. And don't cheat. Close your eyes. I'm not going to do anything. Close your eyes. And put your fingertips together. Put your fingertips together lightly. Just put your fingertips together lightly. And focus on the sensation at the fingertips. Just focus on that. Stop when you start feeling your pulse. Feel the 10 or maybe 8 pulse. You should start feeling a night tingling at the fingertips. You can stop when you're done with feeling the pulse. Congratulations, this is one of the drill that I want you to do as testers. Now, how it is related to what we do? This is one such physiological, mental related aspect where you are actually trying to connect both parts of the brain. And we all know from the physiology that the left part of the body is connected to the right brain and so on. And the fingertips are the points of extreme density of the nerve endpoints. When we connect these two together, you are actually connecting the two parts of the brain to have the exchange between the information. And that information is about emotions, logical thinking, creativity, worry, pain, happiness, contentment, and so on. This one simple technique of connecting your fingertips 10 to 15 seconds a day can change drastically your ability to focus and perform in the activity that you normally do. Okay? So we're talking of skills. When we look at tester skills, most of the time you said, oh, you should be able to think like a tester. You should be able to be having the attitude to break things. You should think like a devil's advocate. You should be able to, the attribute that has been described to me as questioning guy. All of these are told at one level. And these are the things that you see here, critical thinking, you have to have questioning. You should be able to learn anything rapidly. Because these days, the speed with which your technology changes, what you learned yesterday will be outdated tomorrow. So if you're not able to learn faster, you will be able to you will be lagging behind your approach in what you're doing. Analytical thinking. When we say analytical thinking, people don't really look at what it is. Can anybody just quickly tell what analytical means? Split the word analytical. Or, if you're not able to say what analytical is, what is opposite of analytical? Anyone? You're doing so many, for the benefit of others, you're saying, seeing a big picture. There are so many loaded words that you used. I was looking for exact word meaning of the term or phrase, analytical thinking. Analytical thinking is again vast. Analytical simply means break the whole into small pieces. Gross substance of this into the atom of this matter. The approach is you should be able to take a big thing and split into small, understand the small, then claim that you have learned the big thing. That's an approach. What would be opposite of analytical thinking? See a big picture, from there zoom in, which is constructing the whole from the small pieces. And this is called synthesis or whole view approach or holistic approach. Again, that also has become a cliche. So most of the time in our industry, we have a lot of cliche words and we have never gone beyond it. Okay? So what I'm going to present today, and I've not completely developed this topic, is so vast, but I'm scratching the surface today. Okay? About practice, everybody's aware, right? Sportspersons practice. Singers, dramatists, lawyers, everybody practice. They have a practice session. There is a practice and play. Practice, perform. Practice, and I tried very hard to get that video or a ad, commercial which used to come. जो भी गलती करना है, practice करते time पे गलती करो. Which means that it is a platform for you to try out what nonsense things you can do with respect to things. Make a practice, fail. One day you will wake up. So, practice is deliberate attempt to do certain things for a certain behavior for an extended period of time so that either muscle memory or what you try to do becomes your second nature. Like, initially when you are learning car, you would be very clear, say, okay, where is my clutch, where is brake? You must have struggled. At some point of time, after that, you drive 20 kilometers without realizing where is your leg. How it happened? The process of learning, and leave it to mind. There is one very nice, sophisticated machine in our body called mind. It will take care of it. So when something goes from conscious to subconscious to unconscious, we said to have mastered it. In our approach of trying to do testing and practicing it is mastering to move what we do from either deliberately, consciously to unconscious. So that if you just ponder on the key, you should be able to find bugs. I'm just joking. But the state that you want to get to is what you do deliberately, you should put into the action by unconscious through the journey of conscious. That's what the practice is. Where did I get the inspiration from? Each one of you, I think you should be able to recognize very clearly Socrates, known for asking questions. Bhimsen Joshi, Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, or any musician that is worth, these people are like practice for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They are like morning to evening singing. Look at the amount of practice that has gone into make their whole performance so enthralling to the people. Bruce Lee once allegedly said, I fear a man who practiced one move for 10,000 times. That is the power of practice. I don't know. How many of you can recognize this guy who is doing like this? Anyone? What a shame. I would call him as a hero of testers. Nobel Prize electrodynamic physicist, Richard Feynman. And you look at his videos on the YouTube, take it down, fun to imagine. Here in this series of fun to imagine itself, what you have is two words. Have fun what you're doing it. Have fun in imagining things. No prizes for guessing that imagining itself is a skill that you need to improve day by day basis. Of course, one of the things that every tester will relate to is Sherlock Holmes. By the way, Sherlock Holmes is a fiction character. Then I should give him to the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Did I say that correctly? That person imagined this character who is emblem of investigative skills and the deduction of the power of the deduction. These all people told, okay, let's look at skills, manage, and how do we do? And then they worked up the skills. Now, if you think of the skills, how are they organized? Where are they? That leads to our next slide. This is, again, my initial work, and I will expand on this, maybe not this in multiple talks. You have layers of skills. Top layer is what people will tell you. Like you should be able to learn rapidly. You should have sharp logical thinking, sharp critical thinking, sharp systems thinking. Okay? Investigative skills. I mean, you must have heard very easily saying, a good tester is one who has very high attention to detail. How did that attention to detail got developed? What are the underlying skills? There are layer below. It's like peeling the onion. Mid-level, and you would see, once you look at all the skills, you would see why these are layered. Recognize and clear idea of checking the patterns. Questioning skills is in the mid-level. It is not the top level. Because nobody would pay you for just being questioning skill. That questioning skill has to be put into a perspective in a higher skill, and that particular demonstration of the skills should lead something to you in the project that you're working for. Curiosity. Does anyone has any drill or any action or anything that they can do daily to practice curiosity? How can we do it? I think we have to be like kids. They are very curious. I was also very curious. My education spoiled me. Education spoiled my curiosity, killed my curiosity. Why? Culturally, when we were very small, we used to ask questions to our parents, our elder siblings and all that. How does this work? What is this? Why it is not like this? What if I touch this? What if I drink this? That's why you kids will learn by putting everything into the mouth and see what, because that's their primary sense organ. Then you say, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't ask this question. Don't talk like a big person, right? You recall all your childhood memories where you have been systematically prevented from asking questions. Sorry? After that, by the time your 10th standard comes, your curiosity would have been sufficiently killed. By the time you come to college, you will prefer to sit in the backbench. So that neither you ask question nor the lecturer asks you any question. Right? So we have to be like that. And another way to be curious is be curious about day-to-day things. Day-to-day things. Anything that you encounter with, try to look at what does it, how does it do, what it's made up of. You know, all of us have eaten jeera. Right? One of the curiosity drill is pick up things like that and see if it is an organic stuff, which means coming from some plants. How can I envision jeera plant? Which part of the plant is jeera from? An example of demonstrating practically curiosity. We have stopped doing it. We have no time because we want to get things done. Google and ChatGPT finished everything now. So when I was asking for some ideas for this talk with my daughter, who is doing her first year LLB, she said, "Papa, you don't know ChatGPT, why are you asking me?" Then I said, "No, I know ChatGPT, but can you give me some ideas?" She immediately snatched my laptop, plugged a few words and said, "Oh, see, here is your thing." And she said, "Oh, you should know prompt engineering." Right? Now, the world is going in that direction. Even then, more so, the ask of questioning is more important for ChatGPT because ChatGPT is driven by questions. If you don't know how best we can ask questions, ChatGPT is dumb genie with you. It can give you any answer. Worst, you don't know where is the source of the data. It has just conjured up some lines up together to look like a very plausible, technically correct, grammatically correct statement or stuff that you still need the analytical skills, critical thinking skills, all human skills to check and use that stuff that ChatGPT has given. Okay? So, curiosity, right? Now I'm coming to what I'm calling it as a foundational skills. Low level. You can still go lower than this, probably that is an exercise for you. Strong memory. We are losing the memory because we can't even remember our spouse's mobile number. We only store them as whatever you like the name. Right? We have stopped that memory. We are not exercising the memory muscles. Ability to focus. Today, if you are being little sufficiently fed, all you need in the life to survive is a fully charged phone, data pack, and Wi-Fi. That's all. You don't need anything else. You can keep scrolling until whatever time it is. Somebody should say, okay, are you still alive? Oh, okay, I can see hands moving, he's alive. There is a constant conspiracy around us to feed us with full of information so that you never focus on anything. At the end of it, you feel, let us, I mean, this is my experience also. Like if I get pulled into scrolling, I scroll for 30 minutes, look at random stuff, and after 30 minutes, you stop it, stand up and say, do you feel energized or you feel completely lost, derailed, frustrated with the life? Everybody wants to put their picture in the holiday of a dream location or something that they're very much good about. And if you're in the same thing, look, I'm so lost, I'm so useless person, I'm not able to do anything. It frustrates you to the core. What does it mean is, ability to focus has become even more important in today's world. Take the distractions away. Practicing that will improve your social life, will improve your physical life, will improve your mental life. Last but not the least, it will improve your testing. Because you will be able to focus and do things. I mean, there is this, I forgot the name, like circadian rhythm, 24-hour cycle, there is a rhythm of brain of alert, hibernate. Alert, hibernate. Through the neuroscience research, this window of alertness or hibernation lasts for about 90 minutes. This is a research, maybe done 10, 15 years ago. Now this must be 2 minutes or 3 minutes now. That's why those who have seen James Bach's exploratory testing sessions or testing sessions or whatever, were typically capped at 90 minutes. Because after 90 minutes, you can't focus. You will have to take rest, you will have to take something, defocus and go. So the 90-minute session is what you need to focus. Observe sharply. Pradeep still there? No. Okay. So I learned this thing from you that you saw it but you didn't recognize it. You observed it but you didn't recognize it. Many times you see you're walking on the road, suddenly somebody who is so familiar to you walks by and you don't recognize that person. That person comes and taps you and say, hey, how are you? That is called inattentional blindness. Blindness happens because of inattention. Observing things is the single most important skill for a tester to practice daily. How do you observe? There are things like, this used to be, I was in NCC when I was in high school, and they used to, and I'm talking about 20, 30 years ago, where they put on a table some list of objects, and they would open it up. You can observe for about 10 seconds, and go back and recall how many items you could recollect that they were there. Now on the screen, you miss a bug. I did this test, everything was failing. Oh, sorry, everything was passing. I didn't see this. No, you saw this, but you did not recognize it. Recognition comes with the word pattern. So there is a huge psychology, huge neuroscience, huge concentration exercise required to focus, observe sharply, recognize the patterns. The last one is expression, communication, right? And communication is, these days, communication has been put into soft skill. Don't bother. You can learn soft skill anywhere. Now, you all know how important for you used to focus your communication skill in such a way that when you are communicating a bug, communicating a frustration that you are not able to test, communicating that automation failed, communicating that, boss, testing doesn't happen by looking at the test cases. Good tester doesn't look at the test cases, by the way. They test from here. The test cases written have been imported here. Import star dot star is here. We miss that. Hence, the whole practice of looking into the skills objectively has to be understood in terms of how well you communicate. Okay? Now, next. Grouped into these 4 foundation skills, the last paragraph of this is where we need to start from. Okay? Focusing, we talked about. Observation, that we talked about. Thinking, which we did not dwell on it. Thinking is a complicated topic. Thinking is facilitated by mind. Where is mind? Don't mind. Where is mind? There is no specific location for the mind. Neurologists, neuroscientists, psychiatrists think that mind and brain are same. Mind is in the brain. Is mind in the brain? And if you go into little spirituality, I'm a big fan of Osho, Ramana Maharshi. If you go in that direction, they will say there is this phrase in Sanskrit called Mano Nasham. Kill your mind. Mind is like a small kid. Kids are doing lot of mischiefs and walks around doing here and all that. The moment the kid sees a parent looking at them, just looking at them, they will go and sit in the corner. Observe this. When you are looking at what is going on in the mind, for a moment, mind stops. Appear to have stopped. Mind stops when you observe it. But we'll never let to observe. Okay? And there is this one kind of a drill that I thought about, which I practice few things. Observing your thoughts is like an exercise where you are asked at a traffic signal, you are given a chair to sit there. Your job is to observe every vehicle that it passes by. Nothing else. Just observe the vehicles passing by. But once you miss the whole observing and you get into the bus that comes along, and maybe you saw some beautiful lady and you feel like you just want to get into the bus and see where she's going, you get into the bus and go for another kilometer, 2-3 kilometers. Then you realize, hey, I was supposed to be sitting at the junction. Why have I come here? Then you take another opposite bus and come back and sit. This is exactly what you do when you are doing called meditation. Watch your thoughts. Sure, within 10 seconds you will be drifted away. First thought comes is, why am I doing this? Coffee smell is coming nice. Hey, evening I have to go and meet this person. I did not have a nice sleep. So many thoughts, you keep on bombarding. They are like vehicles passing by. What is your job? To watch those thoughts. The moment you start watching your thoughts, there is one separation that is drawn between you and thoughts. You are not the thought. Create that separation, then you keep watching like you're watching a vehicle. You're not attached. Sitting in the car or the bus, traveling is getting carried away, losing the thought of observing the thoughts. Right? I mean, I can go on. There's so many drills that are associated, but in nutshell, thinking is about mind. You need to control. You can't control the mind. You can only observe the mind. Observe the mind will make it go away. Eventually, as the highest philosophical enlightenment you can achieve is, you will feel that there is no thing called mind. And what you remain at that time when you remove that is Tattvam Asi. You are that. Advaita philosophy. Right? You can go from testing science, this material world, observing cars, traffic junction to Tattvamasi, Shankaracharya, Advaita. You can go from this whole journey you can do in mind. Careful about mind. Practice. You have seen this equation, right? Atomic habits. Anything that you do very small, but consistently. However small it is, 1 minute a day, 30 seconds a day, doing it for 1 year will give you so much compounding effect. So I emphasize this. Out of this session, even if you pick one habit that you think, restrict it to 15 seconds. Do it for next 3 months. And drop me a note what happened to you after that. I'm sure there will be something very significant positive moment coming out of it. Ask question, what is that 0.1? 0.01, sorry. What is that 0.01 of your testing that you can do daily? Choose it now. This I will do daily. Into 365, see it growing 37, into 37, 37.7, 38. Now, you may ask, all this GAN is fine here. It looks like you have come to the wrong place. We are asking and listening to some satsang. Definitely, this is not satsang. I will connect. I will make my attempt to connect these things. Okay? One is, you are required constantly to learn the domain. So become one of the things that you should learn domains. I should be a domain expert. I can't test. If you are testing in retail, you should know retail. If you are testing in banking, insurance, or whatever, you know the respective ones. You will be able to learn faster if you sharpen those foundational skills. Your ability to learn rapid will improve. How will I connect? Probably this is a topic which is as big as I can write a book about it. So you will hear me talking about it next year, step in, maybe a little more. Because by the time I would have experienced myself as implementing this framework and see how does it work. How I am able to. Now, my further research topic is first, assess where we are. Then, do this. After doing it for about 6 months, where would I get to? Okay? And understanding technology domains better, you should know technology, you should know, JavaScript, React, JS, Kubernetes, anything in the world, it keeps on coming every day. How will you know them? Learn faster, memorize faster, imagine faster, all that. Taking testing challenges, finding important bugs, communicating better clearly, analyzing issues, find the requirements, solve the problems in test design. All of these things are what? Your top level skills. These top level skills you will be able to attach if you focus on foundation skills. Now, here is, I actually thought of that I would squeeze it to a literally 15, 30 minutes, 45 minutes package. I could not develop that topic in time, but I promised to post it either in my LinkedIn or in my blog. You stay tuned. But simply you allocate some time, have a morning routine, have a night routine. If you don't have, please plan it. Morning routine, just scroll your Instagram. No, don't do that. You can do, but after 90 minutes. Have a 30 minutes morning routine. Put whatever you want to. Allocate some 5 minutes in this for our profession if you are testers and if you want to be better at it. Morning, night, all reconciliation. Night you run a bad job. To sweep everything, put into something which goes into your head nicely. Pick areas, again as you said, physical, breath work, some of the writings, sketching, you can do these things like that. Any of you maintain tester's diary? I know you can. I know you would. I don't. I intend to. Tester diary is simply your experiences that you learn on daily basis. Write about bugs, write about misses, write about technology blunders, whatever it is. That diary should act to you as your reference. Get a peer like Ramit. So many people, nice experts are there. And good part of our community is each one of them are very approachable. That's how I grew. That's how I was made to what I am today because of the network, because of the mentors, because of the colleagues who at any point of time, even if I call, like Vipul or Pradeep or Ajay or anybody, Rahul, you call them at night at 10 o'clock, 10:30 and say, I have a testing problem to discuss. They will discuss for 1 hour. They are about to sleep. We have people like that. Find them, collaborate them, and share this plan. Okay, this is how I'm practicing. What are you practicing? And do. Assess the progress, build your own drills. You're going to build drills. One more drill. One more drill. Anybody? No? I will pause this. But again, what I wanted to do was do a breathing exercise, breathing work. Okay? Now, breathing sharply focuses your mind. It will help you to get into things like that. And doing things like 10 squats and sitting in the deep squat for 20 seconds, doing 5 push-ups, dead hang for 30 seconds, regardless of the age, builds your brain in addition to the body. So you flip it around, make sure that there is a fit mind in a fit body. And a fit mind is an asset for a tester. What else I can say? Thank you very much.
Questions, anybody? Questions, anyone? Good. Okay. Yes, please.
Unlearning. Good question. Practicing unlearning, what I can say is, first, pick up things that you want to unlearn. What you want to unlearn? First, decide one thing that you want to unlearn.
Smoking.
Oh, that is not a practice. That's not a thing that you want to unlearn. Sure. Good example, yeah.
Where they try. So,
Yeah.
I think that can be an example of unlearning.
Okay. Now, another example of unlearning is that how you unlearn. Basically, learning means you have accumulated information about an object. You have to remove that, you have to do delete information in the brain. How do you do delete in the brain? It's not an easy thing. You need to replace that with something, a state of mind that is saying, for example, same example of as you are driving of the car, you have to bring it to a mental state that I have not driven car at all. How would I approach it? I have not driven at all. I don't know what clutch, what brake is, what accelerator is. I don't know what they do. This is a lot of mental conditioning required there, which means that you have to make something which is familiar. From that familiar to you have to go to unfamiliar. The moment it becomes unfamiliar, you have an opportunity to start it all over again. It is reset or delete, fresh. You have a hard disk, press delete or format. Unlearning brain is formatting. Unfortunately, there is no easy unformatting command that we have, which will remove. Now, many people want to say, I want to remove the bad memories. That guy, my boss insulted me like in front of 100 people. I want to forget this. I myself have so many such events which I want to forget. One way to forget, again, don't feel like it's a satsang. There is this process called vipassana, meditation. Apparently, when you go and sit there, after 1 day, 2 days, third day maybe you start crying. They will make you, probably you're crying because you are sitting in meditation for about 12 hours a day. That's what they do. You don't talk also, mauna vrita. Life is so simple there. You don't have to talk. Everything is by hand signals. And when you sit in the vipassana like that, your whole body drains away. Mental worries drains away. Everything drains away. And this, I don't want to really, probably check with me later. I have a few drills about getting rid of traumatic experience. I'm not a therapist yet, but I would like to become one. But I'm practicing and learning on these lines.
I can add something to, what Shrini has said. So there are these, Navdurga days which go twice a year. This is my practice. I am not telling you to do this practice. I am just telling you there's a way to, when you say unlearning. For those 9 days, I go silent, zip, zero communication. When I say zero communication, I am not on phone, I am not on mobile, I am not doing No. People give me food, I'll eat food. They don't give me food, I'll go, I'll prepare something up myself, but I will not communicate with another human being. That's a very good way of, keeping distance with your wife for 9 days. Having said it,
But what poor wife will do?
having said it, those 18 days in a year gives you the perspectives, and then you start looking at the same things in very different ways. Okay, so that is one of the practices I do, and there are other practices that I do, but you can find your own path. Nobody can tell you, hey, here is the path. You have to find your path, and once you are, you have found your path, then there will be others, co-travelers that you will find along the way.
Go ahead.
Sir?
I said thank you.
Okay, now
There's
my
another
question to you. One more. Okay, my question to you, you can answer later. Why do you want to unlearn? Me demonstrating questioning skills. Yeah, why you want to unlearn? You can answer me later. Yeah.
Sir, for developing critical thinking skills, questioning skills for the tester, can we follow some games? As a corporate trainer in testing, I used to give suggestion to my participants when they are getting bored in learning, so they can go to the typing master and develop their typing skills. So that documentation is an important skill for tester. So that I have given. So can you give suggestions for any games which will increase our critical thinking?
Okay.
Or something.
Games for critical thinking. Before we get into that, we
So
need
that
to
it's easy to engage with that.
agree.
That's why.
We can talk about it. Is longer answer.
Yeah.
But I will again put you into the spot by asking what is critical thinking. Okay. Does anyone know what is critical thinking?
It's very critical.
It's very critical, right? What is? Good answer. Quick answer to that is critical thinking is being skeptical, questioning your own thinking. I believe this is correct. Why? An example of critical thinking. Thank you very much. I don't want to catch other people.
Thank you, Shrini sir. I identified the person who is going to felicitate this time. Okay? Ma'am, what's your name? Right at the front. Rakhi, come on stage. And I'll tell you why I have chosen Rakhi. Rakhi, please. So when Rakhi entered this room, she asked one of the people around her, let's sit on sofa. And the other person said, no, let's go back. And Rakhi said, why not? That was a very important why not. Sir. Aesthetics. Blazer. One guy is in blazer, another is hosting the entire conference is in a t-shirt and a jeans.
No, I want to become gentleman.
Big round of applause, guys. Thank you, Rakhi. Be brave as you are today.